The most damaging sentence you will ever hear is a compliment. It will sound like this: "You are the most incredible person I have ever met." It will arrive within days of meeting someone, and it will feel like the key that finally fits the lock you've been carrying your whole life. This feeling is a carefully engineered illusion. By the end of this, you will understand the complete neurological and psychological blueprint behind that illusion, and you will be able to recognize it for what it is: a warning siren disguised as a love song. It begins with a flood, a tidal wave of attention, affection and adoration that feels overwhelming in the best possible way. Constant texts, grand declarations, gifts that are a little too expensive for how long you've known each other. They mirror your interests, your dreams, your deepest insecurities, and present themselves as the perfect answer. You mention a deep love for a niche foreign film. By the next day, they've watched it twice and are discussing its complex themes with a fluency that feels like destiny. You confess a secret insecurity about your work. They respond with a monologue about your unrecognized genius that sounds more certain than your own mother. Every conversation is about your potential, your beauty, your unique mind. It's intoxicating. It feels like being seen. Completely. But you are being studied. A psychological audit is underway, and you are providing all the answers. Your vulnerabilities are being logged. Your deepest needs are being mapped. This initial phase of intense idealization is designed to do one thing: overwhelm your critical thinking. Your brain, like any system, has a firewall. It's the part of you that asks, "Is this too good to be true?" The part that notices the intensity is a little fast. Love bombing is a brute force attack on that firewall. It bombards the system with so much positive data that the cautionary flags are drowned out by the sheer volume of validation. It feels like warmth. It is reconnaissance. This process has a distinct chemical signature in the brain. The constant praise and intense focus trigger a massive release of dopamine. We think of dopamine as the pleasure molecule. It is the molecule of motivation and seeking. It's what drives you to want, to pursue, to anticipate a reward. Love bombing creates a state of perpetual high-stakes anticipation. Your phone buzzes. Is it them? Of course it is. Dopamine fires. The message is another piece of perfect praise. The reward hits. The cycle repeats. This creates a feedback loop that is functionally identical to the early stages of addiction. Your brain learns that this person is the source of a powerful, reliable chemical high. Simultaneously, the grand romantic gestures and declarations of soulmate connection trigger oxytocin. This is the bonding hormone, crucial for creating feelings of trust, safety, and attachment. It lowers social inhibitions and makes you more willing to see the best in someone. So, you have one chemical system telling you to want this person more than anything, and another chemical system telling you to trust this person completely. Your neurological defenses are being systematically dismantled. You are being primed for a connection that feels deeper and more significant than it could possibly be. Your own biology is being used to sell you a story you desperately want to believe. But the intensity of this connection is the very thing that should alarm you. Genuine intimacy is a slow build, a quiet construction. This is a skyscraper built in a single night, and it's made of scaffolding. This chemical cocktail serves a strategic purpose. It isolates you. When you're inside this bubble of perfect adoration, the outside world starts to look dull and grey. The advice of friends feels cynical. Their caution sounds like jealousy. You're told they don't understand our connection. They've never felt anything like this. And in a way, you're right. Your friends are assessing this new person with a sober brain. Your brain is intoxicated. The love bomber encourages this separation. They position themselves as the only person who truly gets you. This creates a dependency. Their validation becomes the primary source of your self-esteem. Before you met them, your sense of self was drawn from multiple sources: your work, your hobbies, your friendships, your family. Now, those streams are being dammed one by one until only a single fire hose of validation remains. And one person controls the valve. This is the true goal of love bombing. The compliments are the currency being used to purchase your attention, your trust, and ultimately your compliance. You've been given an enormous, unsolicited gift, an avalanche of affection, and a deep, unspoken sense of obligation begins to grow. You feel a powerful urge to reciprocate, to prove you are worthy of this incredible devotion. This feeling of indebtedness is the foundation of their control. You stop asking if this person is right for you. You start worrying about being right for them. So why does this work? Why do some people recoil from this intensity, while others feel like they've finally come home? The answer lies in our earliest attachment patterns. A person with a secure sense of self-worth, someone who fundamentally believes they are valuable and lovable, often finds love bombing to be suffocating. The praise feels unearned. The intensity feels alarming. Their internal cup is already mostly full, so this fire hose of validation just makes a mess. But for someone with an insecure attachment style, particularly an anxious attachment, the experience is different. If your childhood left you with a lingering sense of needing to earn love or a deep-seated fear of abandonment, your cup feels empty. When the love bomber arrives, they don't just fill the cup, they overflow it. It feels like salvation. That deep, unmet craving for validation is finally being satisfied. This person isn't just a partner, they are a solution to a lifelong problem. They are the external source of worth you've been searching for. The critics of this idea will often say that the person being love-bombed bears some responsibility, that they are too needy or too naive. This misses the point entirely. It's like blaming a starving person for eating a poisoned meal. The love bomber is an expert at identifying that hunger and presenting themselves as the feast. They are exploiting a pre-existing wound. The intensity of their affection feels like medicine. It is the bait. Once the dependency is established and the isolation is complete, the pattern shifts. This is the devaluation phase. It begins subtly. A perfectly aimed criticism disguised as a joke. A day of silence after weeks of constant communication. The fire hose of affection slows to a trickle and then shuts off completely. Your brain, now addicted to the dopamine highs, goes into withdrawal. You feel a profound anxiety, confusion, panic. You scramble to figure out what you did wrong. The person who once told you that you were flawless now points out your every flaw. The things they once admired about you are now sources of irritation. Your confidence, which they praised, is now arrogance. Your sensitivity, which they cherished, is now neediness. The rapid shift from idealization to devaluation creates profound cognitive dissonance. You have two conflicting realities in your head. One is the perfect, adoring partner from the beginning. The other is this cold, critical person in front of you now. Your brain can't hold both pictures at once, so it resolves the conflict by blaming you. You think, the first person was the real them. This coldness is my fault. If I can just fix what's wrong with me, the perfect person will come back. This is the trap. You are now working to earn back the validation that was once given freely. You apologize for things you haven't done. You change your behavior, your clothes, your friends, trying to find the magic combination that will bring back the high. This cycle of being pulled close and then pushed away is called intermittent reinforcement. It is the most powerful method known for entrenching a behavior. A rat will press a lever more frantically if the food pellet comes out randomly than if it comes out every single time. You have been placed in a psychological cage, frantically pressing a lever for a pellet of affection that may never come. The addiction is now fully locked in. The scaffolding they built around you is being dismantled plank by painful plank, and you're left shivering, convinced the cold is your own fault. It's tempting to see the love bomber as a kind of evil genius, a Machiavellian plotter executing a perfect plan. The reality is often more pathetic. This behavior is typically rooted in profound personality disorders, most notably narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder. For a narcissist, other people are mirrors. They need a constant stream of external validation to regulate their own incredibly fragile sense of self. When they meet you, they see a perfect, idealized version of you because it reflects well on them. They are in love with the reflection you provide. The moment you display a human flaw, disagree with them, have a separate need, or fail to adore them perfectly, the mirror cracks. In their eyes, you are now worthless because you are no longer providing the perfect reflection they require. The rage and contempt that follows is their reaction to their own shattered self-image. The love bombing was a performance. You were cast in a role. The moment you went off script, you were fired. Critics of this explanation sometimes argue, but they seem so genuine. I think they really believed it at the time. And here's the uncomfortable truth. They probably did. A person with severe emotional dysregulation lives in a state of constant internal chaos. Their feelings are intense, but shallow and fleeting. In the moment they tell you you're the greatest person alive, their entire emotional reality is consumed by that feeling. It is, for them, 100% true. An hour later, when you've disappointed them, their reality is consumed by the feeling that you are the worst person alive. That is also 100% true. Their sincerity is irrelevant. Their internal state is so unstable that their truth is a weather vane in a hurricane. They aren't lying in the conventional sense. They are building a reality out of whatever feeling is strongest in the moment, and they demand that you live inside it with them. This is the most dangerous part. You are arguing with a feeling that has all the certainty of a physical law to the person experiencing it. You can't win. The long-term damage from this kind of emotional abuse is severe and insidious. It rewires your understanding of love. You learn to associate connection with intense, chaotic highs and devastating, soul-crushing lows. A healthy, stable, predictable relationship starts to feel boring or lacking in passion. Your nervous system has been conditioned to equate drama with love. You lose trust in your own judgment. How could you have been so wrong about someone? You question your ability to read people, to make good decisions. This self-doubt can bleed into every area of your life, from your career to your friendships. You may also develop symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, hypervigilance, a constant feeling of being on edge, emotional flashbacks that take you right back to the feeling of being devalued, a shattered sense of self-worth. You feel fundamentally broken, unlovable. The love bomber installed a new voice in your head, an internal critic that uses their exact words to undermine you, long after they're gone. It's a ghost that haunts the quiet moments of your life. The recovery involves learning to distinguish the performance of love from the reality of it. The performance is loud, the reality is quiet. The performance is a declaration, the reality is a consistent action. The performance is about making you feel good. The reality is about being good. It's a slow, difficult process of recalibrating your entire relational compass. So, how do you protect yourself? The answer is to stop looking for a savior and start building a home. A strong internal sense of self-worth is the only effective shield against this kind of manipulation. This is built brick by brick through small acts of self-respect, keeping promises to yourself, pursuing your own interests, nurturing friendships that are reciprocal and steady. It's about filling your own cup so that when someone shows up with a fire hose, you have the clarity to see it for what it is: a flood. A person who knows their own value can appreciate a compliment. They are grounded by it. A person who is unsure of their value can be captured by a compliment. They are uprooted by it. They look to others to tell them who they are. The most dangerous compliment you'll ever receive isn't dangerous because of the words themselves. It's dangerous because of what it reveals about the person saying it and what it triggers in the person hearing it. It's a diagnostic tool. If someone is trying to build a cathedral in your honor after knowing you for a week, they are not a romantic. They are a contractor with a history of building beautiful, condemned structures. The solution is to be too busy tending your own garden to be impressed by their blueprints. Real love doesn't put you on a pedestal. It sits on the ground with you and helps you stand up on your own.